Tonight is one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game of the season for the Indiana Fever. So obviously the Valks lost last night, but the Indiana Fever are facing the Washington Mystics tonight in an important game. The Dallas Wings face the LA Sparks as well. The Wings are going to lose to the LA Sparks. We kind of know that. Then the Sky are playing the Aces. Doesn't really matter on the tonight. They're gonna the Aces are gonna win. Tonight's the night Angel Reese is suspended for half the game. But yeah, this is one of those things where if you look at the standings right now, the Indiana Fever have 22 wins. They have 22 wins. They are 22-20. They are likely not going to beat the Lynx in the second last game of the season, because the Lynx realistically need to win. The Lynx need to go 35-9. If they go 35-9, there's still a good shout of being MVP. But if they lose one more game, it's ages. It's ages MVP if they lose one more game. But the Phoenix Mercury have kind of dropped into that. They've lost one game, so they've probably dropped into that 4 or 5 slot. So the Atlanta Dream play, am I right in saying they play... Do they play anyone good? Is there any real playoff deciders? So the Atlanta Dream play the Connecticut Sun and the Connecticut Sun. So I assume they win both, but the Sun aren't an easy out. The Sun are by absolutely no means an easy out. And shout out to the Fever. The Fever are the reason the Dallas Wings are not on a 15-game losing streak. Shout out to the Fever. And the Fever were also the last win for the Washington Mystics. But yeah, it's the Dream are going to be set. They're going to win out their 2 games. The problem is the Aces are probably going to win out their 3. And do you want to face the Aces in the playoffs? Honestly, yeah. The Aces face the Sky, and the Sparks. The Sparks are going to be out of the playoffs by that game. The Sparks could be out of the playoffs tonight. All that happens is the Indiana Fever have to win and the Sparks are out of the playoffs. The Sparks, the best the Sparks can do is get to 22-22, and I think the Storm have maybe the Sparks have the tiebreaker over the Storm. Either way, that's the best the Sparks can do. But the Indiana Fever, if they win, because they have the tiebreaker over the Storm, they go to 23-20. Worst case scenario to 23-21. And if that happens, the Seattle Storm can only win. It doesn't matter what they do. The Indiana Fever are the 7th seed. And if you're the 7th seed, you're facing either the Aces, the Dream, or the Mercury. Probably the Aces. Realistically, unless somehow the Sky beat the Aces, it's the Aces. It's the Aces. And it looks likely that the Mercury are playing the Sparks and the Wings. It looks like the Mercury are probably going to be in that 4-5 matchup, with the Mercury having the tiebreaker. Well, the Mercury, having the tiebreaker and the seeding advantage over the New York Liberty, record advantage. I'm just trying to think, is there any other... The Fever can overtake the Valks, but it's extremely unlikely. The only way the Fever can overtake the Valkyries is if the Valkyries lose. They're probably going to... They might lose their last 2 games. But it doesn't even matter. The Valks are as good as set in 6th. If it's a 3-way tie, I still think it goes Valks, Fever, Storm. Because I think it still goes Valks, Fever, Storm. If it ends up being a 3-way tie here. And that might be because the Valks are guaranteed in the playoffs, that might be the only way the Fever can get into a better seed. Actually, no. The only way the Fever can get into a better seed is if they win both their games, realistically. They got to win both. They got to beat the Lynx to get to the 6th seed, which is unlikely. So, if the Fever lose tonight, the likelihood is they're going to end up facing the Minnesota Lynx in the playoffs. And the Minnesota Lynx is not a team the Fever are going to beat. Because I think that... I don't think the Fever are going to beat anybody in the playoffs. Especially without Caitlin. If Caitlin was there, I would predict the Fever over the Dream. But Caitlin not being there, in my opinion, doesn't really affect them against the Aces too much because of how they're going to have to win that game. Because there is a huge problem that the Las Vegas Aces are going to have come playoff time. It is a gigantic Nalissa Smith-shaped problem. And it's how the Fever have beaten them twice. Like, you actually just, as well as the Aces are playing, you have to abuse Nalissa Smith. It's the only real way that you can go. And the fact is that the Fever are one of the only teams that have two players that can abuse Nalissa Smith. And Nalissa can't guard Leah Boston, and Nalissa can't guard Natasha Howard. They are one of the only teams that have two players. So if I'm the Las Vegas Aces, even without Caitlin Clark, I don't want to play this Fever team. Fever have killed, without Caitlin, Fever have killed the Aces twice. I still think if it somehow ends up being the Mercury, we face the Mercury, I think the Mercury kill us. The Mercury kill us. The Dream, I don't know. The Dream shoot too much. They can get caught by anybody. And we don't face the Liberty no matter what. And it also, look, we're not going to the finals if you're the Fever. Like I said, I want to dodge the 1-8 matchup because I want to get to the finals. I think we could get through the other bracket, but look, not happening. Not happening either way. But a competitive first round series is enough. And then maybe, I don't think we're going to be competitive with the Minnesota Lynx, but I think maybe we're going to be competitive with the Aces. I know the Aces are on this big win streak. I know the Aces have Asia Wilson, but we saw and I know the Aces have the whistle. I was about to say, we saw last year that the playoff whistle is crazy for Asia, but it's about being competitive at this stage because we're not going to be tanking. I wish we did tank. We're not going to be tanking. We're as good as in the playoffs. Like, all it's going to take is, like, the Sparks, I think, play like the Dream and the Aces in their last two games, and they have to win both. They have to win both of them. It's not Dream and the Aces. They play the Aces and the... It's another playoff team. But they got to win both of them. To make the playoffs, they got to beat the Wings. The Wings, the Mercury, and the Aces. Yeah, they got to beat the Wings, the Mercury, and the Aces, which they're not going to do. Then you win all three, and then Indiana have to go and lose to the Mystics, who are on an 8-game losing streak. However, we were the Mystics' last win, if that counts for anything. So yeah, that is pretty much it. This game is so important because regardless of this game as a whole, if we win, we're essentially guaranteed the 7th seed. I'm pretty confident we're guaranteed the 7th seed. It is crazy though that the only team that swept us this season was the Valks. If you count the Commissioner's Cup as a win against the Lynx, we beat every single team other than the Valks. We have the tiebreaker over the Dream and the Aces. We don't over the Mercury. We beat the Liberty. We have the tiebreaker over the Storm. We beat this team. We lost once to the Wings. How we lost to the Wings. Swept the Sky. 3-1 over the Sun. Like, to be honest, not that bad a season. Anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.